Bullies target Barron Trump, thinking he's an easy target. What they don't know is that he's not just the quiet guy under the tree. He's a martial arts expert. Watch as Barron turns the tables in the most epic way possible. Where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and please complete our 1,000 subscribers for more inspiring stories. The courtyard of St. Andrew's Episcopal School basked in the soft autumn sunlight. Students bustled around, chatting and laughing, as lunch break unfolded with youthful energy. For most, it was a time to unwind, but for Barron Trump, it was an opportunity for quiet reflection. The hustle and bustle of his peers felt distant as he sat under the shade of a sprawling maple tree at the edge of the courtyard. At 6 feet 7 inches, Barron often felt like a giant among them, though he preferred the solace of his own company. His height might have been intimidating to others, but Barron didn't care for attention. He found comfort in his solitude. The old maple tree had become Barron's personal sanctuary. Its branches offered the perfect shelter from the sun, and its roots seemed to grow deep into the earth, offering a sense of grounded peace. Underneath its canopy, Barron could retreat into the pages of a book, savoring the stories it offered. Today was no different. He unwrapped his sandwich, opened his book, and allowed the quiet to wash over him. The world around him with its noise and chaos faded into the background as he focused on the world within the pages. But his peace was short-lived. The sound of loud laughter broke through his concentration, and Barron's eyes instinctively shifted toward the noise. He recognized the source immediately: Jake Harper, a cocky transfer student who had made a name for himself as a troublemaker since arriving at St. Andrews. Barron had heard the rumors. Jake liked to pick on students who stood out, and he had made an effort to target Barron as his next victim. Today, it seemed, Barron was in his sights. "Hey, Trump Tower!" Jake's voice cut through the chatter of the courtyard. His mocking tone, combined with the nickname he'd coined for Barron, made Barron's jaw tighten. It was a nickname that had no respect behind it, just mockery and an attempt to belittle him. Barron calmly set his book down and looked up, meeting Jake's eyes without hesitation. "Can I help you?" His voice was steady, his expression neutral. Jake grinned, a smirk of superiority curling his lips. "Yeah, you can stop acting like you're too good for everyone. Sitting here all by yourself, like you're better than us." Barron remained unfazed. "I'm just reading," he replied, his tone measured and calm. Jake sneered, motioning for his friends to gather around. They began encircling Barron, their presence meant to intimidate. "Reading, huh? Maybe you should read a book on how to make friends, instead of just acting all high and mighty." The courtyard had fallen into a tense silence. The other students, sensing trouble, began whispering to one another. Soon a small crowd formed, watching the unfolding scene from a distance, unsure of how things would play out. Barron slowly stood up, towering over Jake and his friends. His height alone was enough to make them look up at him with a sense of intimidation. Yet Barron's posture remained composed, calm, and collected. "Look," he said, his voice firm but not angry, "I don't want any trouble." Jake's grin widened, now dripping with arrogance. "Well, trouble found you," he said, stepping forward. Without warning, Jake lunged at Barron, aiming to shove him or grab his shoulder. But Barron moved like water, effortless, fluid, and precise. He sidestepped Jake's attack without breaking a sweat. Before Jake could react, Barron had seized his wrist, twisting it just enough to hold him in place. Jake froze, unable to move but not hurt. Gasps rippled through the crowd, the tension thick in the air. Jake's friends, who had been so confident moments before, now hesitated, uncertain of how to proceed. "Let him go!" one of them shouted, clearly unnerved by Barron's quiet strength. Barron released Jake's wrist, allowing him to stumble back, clutching his arm. Jake, clearly stunned, looked up at Barron, his earlier bravado slipping away. What was that?" he stammered, his voice full of confusion. "Karate," Barron replied simply, his voice unwavering. The mention of martial arts seemed to trigger something in Jake. He looked at Barron, his pride wounded, and his temper flared. "Get him!" he shouted at his friends, his voice now full of command. What followed was a display of discipline and precision. Barron moved like a seasoned martial artist, his movements calculated and controlled. As Jake and his friends attempted to take him down, Barron deflected their attacks with ease, using defensive techniques that left his would-be attackers off balance and exhausted. Every motion was deliberate, almost graceful, as Barron neutralized each move without causing harm. The students in the courtyard watched in stunned silence. The once boisterous crowd had grown quiet as they witnessed the unfolding spectacle. Jake and his friends, once so full of confidence, now lay sprawled on the ground, panting and defeated. Barron stood tall, his composure never faltering. He calmly adjusted his blazer and picked up his book, as if nothing out of the ordinary had just occurred. As the defeated group slunk away, murmurs of astonishment filled the courtyard. Students who had been skeptical of Barron's quiet demeanor now looked at him with a new sense of respect. His calm control in the face of confrontation had made an impression, and the incident would be talked about for weeks to come. A teacher, drawn by the commotion, approached Barron. "Barron, are you all right?" she asked, her voice laced with concern. "I'm fine," Barron replied simply. "It's over now." That evening, Barron sat down with his parents for dinner. The incident was the topic of conversation as they ate. Melania, ever attentive, looked at Barron with a mixture of pride and concern. "You handled yourself with grace," she said softly, her Slovenian accent adding warmth to her words. Donald Trump, ever the showman, slapped Barron on the back with a grin. "A natural fighter, just like his old man," he declared, his voice full of pride. "But remember, son, strength isn't just about what you can do with your hands. It's about knowing when to use it." The next day, word of Barron's actions had spread like wildfire. Students who had once viewed him as aloof now approached him with admiration. Even Jake, humbled by the experience, sought Barron out during lunch. "Look, I was out of line," Jake admitted awkwardly, his earlier cocky attitude replaced with genuine remorse. "You could have really hurt me, but you didn't. I respect that." Barron extended his hand with a small smile. "No hard feelings. Everyone makes mistakes." As the weeks went by, the incident became a turning point, not just for Barron, but for the entire school. It sparked conversations about discipline, respect, and the true meaning of strength. Barron had shown them that the strongest person in the room wasn't necessarily the loudest or the most aggressive. Sometimes the strongest person was the one who chose peace over conflict, control over chaos. For Barron, it was a reminder of the lessons his martial arts training had taught him. True power lies not in domination, but in restraint. And sometimes, the greatest strength is simply walking away from the fight. Thank you for watching till the end video. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you did, don't hesitate to like the video and share it with your friends too. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell for more fascinating stories.